Hello there. Wednesday, the 23rd of May, is Wear Orange Wednesday. It's a day where people get the chance to say thank you to the volunteers that make up the state emergency services around Australia. To find out a bit more about the SES, we caught up with Graham Kinder, who was a forward commanding officer with the New South Wales SES when a powerful East Coast low slammed into the state during June 2016.
So I joined the SES about 9 years ago, and I've been on a very steep learning curve over that 9 years and been privileged to be able to get out and serve in lots of different capacities. The SES has been more than I expected. I've actually found the level of training to be first class. It is a registered training organisation and takes training and safety for its members as paramount. I've also found the friendships, the team spirit, the whole organisational ethos is absolutely fantastic. It's a great organisation to be with, where everybody's out to look after one another, everybody's out to support one another, and there's a great infrastructure that's designed to help people grow and constantly facing new challenges of whether you want to be working in the office or whether you want to be working on the front line, whether you want to be working in the aviation environment or with flood boats, whether you want to specialise in rescue. There's a whole wide spectrum of jobs that people can get involved with, and it's been my privilege to touch on most of those areas over the last decade. I was looking for a way to give something back to the community, and there's lots of ways that people can do that. But the SES's role as the combat agency for storms and floods and tsunamis, to me, said those are events that are ever more likely to impact on our community. We are seeing change in our weather patterns, certainly my observation is, and more than just a change, we're seeing greater severity. So if I was going to be effective in doing something or other, I thought I'd better join the agency that's at the front line when there are floods and storms. We hope we won't have a tsunami, but we're also preparing the community for that as well. One quick area that causes me to reflect is that as we were sitting here and we were trying to manage flood rescues and trying to make sure that we had evacuations underway, in the middle of all of that, my wife phoned and asked me to go home because her own house was suffering pretty severe damage. And that really caused some personal reflection about, you know, how do we best serve our family and best serve the community at the same time. So it was a tough moment as we had to evaluate, how do I look after my family best and not abandon the teams that we had working down here. So in the end, I would like to say a genuine thanks to my wife, who made a very good call to stay safe and let me get on with the job down here. And I can say it was really good to get home and be with everyone late that night. Look, this particular event, we were surprised at the strength of the community's response. It really was very strong and very positive. And that's really important, that the community does get in and help itself in events like this. We'd like the community to start getting ready before these events, because there's going to be more of them. Sadly, there is. So we need people to look at their homes and work on trying to prepare their own homes, make sure their gutters are clean, make sure their roofing's good, make sure that the equipment's in the backyard is all tucked away or able to be put away. But in an event like this, the safest place to stay is probably at home, and then to listen to the emergency warnings that are put out and take notice. If you get an evacuation order, please take the opportunity to respond quickly, and that way you won't put yourself at risk, and equally important, you won't put our volunteers at risk. So all of the calls are directed to our call centre in Wollongong. where we have a very professional team in there who are very quickly able to make sure that we get exactly the right location, who's calling and what the priority of the job is. That's then immediately dispatched to the nearest SES unit, whom are able to respond. We are very keen for people to stay in touch by dialing 132 500, and that will then initiate a response. The SES website is the best place for people to quickly get information during an event like this. We've got all of the warnings, all of the bulletins, all of the weather updates are all available on the SES website. So people can just Google for New South Wales SES and go straight through and find us.